In the heart of the African savanna, where the sun sets in a blaze of orange, there lies a creature of majestic power and terrifying beauty, the lion. Yet, not all is well in this king's domain. Imagine a lion, once the epitome of strength and grace, now marred by a grotesque wound, a festering mass of barnacles clinging to its side like a grotesque living armor. This is not a scene from a horror film, but a reality that speaks to the brutal intersection of nature and survival. How did this regal beast, the apex predator, find itself in such a horrific predicament? The answer lies in an unexpected and unsettling relationship with a small marine organism known as barnacles. Barnacles, typically found clinging to rocks and ships, have somehow made their way onto the lion's body, creating a gruesome spectacle. These tiny crustaceans, with their hard calcareous shells, have a remarkable ability to latch onto any surface, and in this case, they have chosen the lion as their host. The barnacle infestation is not merely a cosmetic issue. It represents a parasitic relationship that can lead to severe consequences for the lion's health. As they burrow into the skin, they create open wounds, inviting infection and disease. The lion, once a symbol of power, now struggles under the weight of this unwelcome burden, a stark reminder of the fragility of life in the wild. As we delve deeper into this dark narrative, it becomes clear that the infestation is a reflection of broader ecological issues. The lion's wound is not an isolated incident, but rather a symptom of a larger imbalance in nature, one that humans have played a significant role in creating. Pollution, habitat destruction, and climate change have all contributed to the rise of such parasitic relationships, as animals are forced into unnatural interactions with their environment. In this tale of a lion and its barnacle burden, we are confronted with a moral quandary. As humans, we have the power to alter the course of nature, yet we often do so with reckless abandon. The lion's plight serves as a dark mirror, reflecting our own impact on the planet. So, what can we learn from this gruesome spectacle? Perhaps that while we may find humor in the absurdity of a lion adorned with barnacles, the reality is far more serious. We are all interconnected in this web of life, and the actions we take today will shape the world for generations to come. So, let's hope our next encounter with nature is a little less barnacle-ridden. In the vast, untamed wilderness of the American plains, a solitary bison roams, its massive frame casting a long shadow against the setting sun. But this is no ordinary bison. It bears a gruesome wound, a gaping hole in its side, a testament to a horrific wasp nest infestation. As the camera zooms in, the sight is both shocking and captivating. The wound, raw and oozing, is a dark portal into the bison's suffering, a stark reminder of nature's brutal realities. The bison, a symbol of strength and resilience, now stands as a victim of an unseen enemy, a swarm of wasps that have turned its body into a breeding ground for their young. The wasps, those tiny yet formidable creatures, have found a way to infiltrate the bison's flesh, laying their eggs within the soft tissue. As the larvae hatch, they feast on the bison's insides, creating a grotesque symbiosis that is as fascinating as it is horrifying. The bison, unaware of the invasion, continues to graze, its body a living nursery for these parasitic invaders. The sight of the wasps buzzing around the wound, their bodies glistening in the sunlight, is a chilling reminder of the cycle of life and death that plays out in the natural world. Each wasp, a tiny harbinger of doom, contributes to the bison's slow decline, a process that is both cruel and inevitable. As we delve deeper into this dark tale, we uncover the science behind the infestation. Wasps are opportunistic creatures, drawn to the scent of decay and the promise of a soft, warm host. The bison, with its thick hide and robust physique, becomes an unsuspecting target. The wasps inject their eggs into the bison's flesh, and as the larvae grow, they release enzymes that break down the tissue, allowing them to thrive. This gruesome process is a stark reminder of nature's indifference. Survival often comes at a cost, and in this case, it is the bison that pays the price. Yet, as we observe this tragic scene, a dark twist emerges. Humans, in their quest for progress, have encroached upon the bison's habitat, disrupting the delicate balance of nature. The pesticides and chemicals used to control insect populations have inadvertently created a breeding ground for wasps, leading to increased infestations in wildlife. The bison, once a majestic creature roaming freely, now finds itself caught in a web of human-induced chaos. It raises a haunting question in our pursuit of control. Have we become the architects of suffering in the animal kingdom? As the camera pulls away, leaving the bison to its fate, we are left with a bitter taste of irony. Nature, in all its brutality, continues to unfold, while humans, with their misguided intentions, watch from the sidelines. Perhaps the real lesson here is that in the grand tapestry of life, we are all interconnected, and our actions, no matter how small, can have far-reaching consequences. So, the next time you swat a wasp, remember the bison and its horrific wound. After all, in the game of survival, we are all just players on the same stage, and sometimes the show can get a little messy. In the icy realms of the Arctic, where the sun barely kisses the horizon, and the air is a biting chill, a creature roams that embodies both grace and ferocity, the polar bear. But today, we encounter a harrowing sight that pulls us into a darker narrative. As we zoom in on one particular bear, we are confronted with a gruesome tableau, its once pristine fur marred by a horrific barnacle wound. This is not merely a tale of survival. It is a stark reminder of nature's brutal realities and the consequences of a changing world. The bear lumbers through the snow, its massive frame a testament to its power, yet it carries with it a burden that is both grotesque and fascinating. Those seemingly innocuous marine creatures have made an unwelcome home on this majestic beast. They cling stubbornly to the bear's skin, forming a grotesque patchwork of hard, calcified shells that stand in stark contrast to the soft white fur. Each barnacle, a small fortress of calcium carbonate, is a reminder of the relentless forces of nature. These creatures, often found on ships and rocks, have taken a liking to our polar friend, turning its body into a veritable buffet. As we observe the bear, it becomes clear that these barnacles are not just a cosmetic issue. They are a source of agony and suffering. The bear's movements are sluggish, its once proud gait now hindered by the weight of these parasitic invaders. The barnacle infestation is a result of a complex interplay between the bear's habitat and the changes brought about by climate change. As sea ice diminishes, the polar bear finds itself spending more time in the water, inadvertently exposing itself to the very creatures that would latch onto its skin. In a cruel twist of fate, the very environment that should support this apex predator has become a source of torment. The barnacles feed on the bear's skin, burrowing in and causing open wounds that can become infected, leading to a painful existence. This infestation is not just a physical ailment. It is a symbol of the larger ecological crisis that threatens the delicate balance of life in the Arctic. As we delve deeper into the biology of these barnacles, we uncover their fascinating yet disturbing life cycle. They begin as tiny larvae, drifting through the water until they find a suitable host. Once they latch on, they secrete a strong adhesive that binds them to their unfortunate host for life. They grow, encasing themselves in their hard shells, and begin to feed on the bear's flesh. The process is not unlike a horror movie, where the unsuspecting victim becomes the unwitting host to a parasite. The barnacles thrive while the bear suffers, creating a grotesque symbiosis that speaks volumes about the harshness of survival in the wild. But this story does not end in despair. It serves as a mirror reflecting humanity's impact on the natural world. The barnacle infestation is a direct consequence of human actions, climate change driven by industrialization, pollution, and habitat destruction. As we witness the suffering of this in the heart of the African savanna, where the golden grass sways under the relentless sun, a cheetah prowls, its lithe body a marvel of speed and grace. But beneath this facade of beauty lies a gruesome secret. A horrific barnacle wound festers on its flank, a grotesque testament to nature's darker side. Imagine, if you will, a creature known for its elegance and swiftness, now marred by a cluster of barnacles, the very image of nature's cruelty. These small crustacean hitchhikers, typically found clinging to rocks and ships, have found an unlikely host in this majestic predator. This is not an ordinary affliction. It is a chilling reminder of the interconnectedness of life and the sometimes grotesque realities of survival. Barnacles, with their hard calcified shells, attach themselves to surfaces, feeding on plankton and detritus. However, when they invade a cheetah, they burrow into the skin, creating open wounds that ooze and fester. The cheetah's immune system struggles to combat this infestation, leading to painful sores that can become infected. The sight is enough to make one shudder, the once sleek coat now matted and stained, the vibrant spirit of the animal dulled by the weight of its parasitic burden. As the barnacles thrive, they siphon nutrients and energy, leaving the cheetah weakened and vulnerable in a world where every moment counts. This alarming scenario raises unsettling questions about the balance of nature. Is this a consequence of the cheetah's own choices, or is it a reflection of a world increasingly influenced by human activity? The encroachment of civilization has disrupted ecosystems, leading to unusual interactions between species. The barnacles, perhaps displaced by pollution or climate change, have found a new niche in the cheetah's skin. It's a dark twist of fate that reminds us of the fragility of life and the unforeseen consequences of our actions. As we ponder this tragic tale, one might find a sliver of humor in the absurdity of it all. Picture the cheetah, the fastest land animal, now reduced to a slow, lumbering figure, burdened by barnacles. Perhaps it's a lesson in humility, a reminder that even the mightiest can be brought low by the smallest of foes. In a world where we often see ourselves as the pinnacle of evolution, this cheetah's plight serves as a haunting reminder of our own vulnerabilities and the delicate threads that bind us to the natural world.